All right, Vic, we say it every week. Week 16, we can't believe we're here already. Above the numbers, and I think you have the first honors, my man.
Let's do it, man. Obviously, I'm feeling festive with my sweater, and Wayne Gallman should feel festive this week because he should get some more touches. I think last week he had 9 rushing attempts. He has to be that anchor, that driving force in that backfield that runs downhill, that gets the game going, that can provide that balance for Daniel Jones so that the play action can be exactly what Daniel Jones wants. It sucks up those linebackers, and he's able to hit those seams right behind him, which he does so well. So Wayne Gallman, I look for him to have an impact in this game, run the ball between the tackles as well as outside, because he just runs that downhill style that you love, that is easy to counter off of and run those play action, and opens up your full playbook when he's running the ball well.
The last thing you want to do up against this Baltimore Ravens defense is become one-dimensional. You got to have an integral running attack and build play action passing off of it. So I'd like to call with Wayne Gallman. I'm going to go on the other side, though. I'm going to go with Jabril Peppers.
Okay.
We know that the linchpin for everything they do with their football team, not only offensively, but the wins, all start with Lamar Jackson. Being able to have that 8th man in the box to support the run, whether it's Lamar Jackson or J.K. Dobbins. And the other thing, taking away the middle of the field. That's one thing Lamar Jackson and their passing thrive upon. If you could take away Mark Andrews and that passing attack and Jabril Peppers across the middle, winning those one-on-one battles, that's where you can get those interceptions, and that's where you can get that offense off the field.
Absolutely. And I think Jabril obviously has to be important, being that middle linebacker, so to speak, being that guy that's all over the field, reading Lamar Jackson's keys. But I think the key for that entire defense is just containment. Make sure that Lamar Jackson operates in a phone booth and not outside the pocket where we know he's very, very dangerous.
And the player that we need to keep below the numbers, what are the odds? Lamar Jackson, for all you Yankees fans, he's the stir that stirs the drink.
Exactly. Lamar Jackson is just playing good football this year, obviously using more of his legs this year than his arm, but still equally as effective. We got to be able to make sure that we contain him so he's not operating freely out there, running the ball down our throats, as well as passing the ball down the field.
And obviously he is a dual threat. Got to take away the run and make him throw outside the numbers in order for the Giants to be successful in this game.
Carl, Lamar Jackson has been playing lights out. Over the last 3 weeks during this winning streak, he's averaging over 9 yards a pass attempt. He's averaging 7.9 yards per carry. And when you look at his rushing numbers, he's number 1 at quarterback, but he's 12th overall in all rushers in the NFL. Why has his game suddenly gotten smoothed back out?
Well, it's smoothed back out because of his ability to run the football. When he's a threat to run the football, you notice his passing numbers are way up there because guys are running wide open because defense will overcommit to make sure there are no seams in their front line, which means any run action opens up a guy and he is just playing pitch and catch. So the key is to make him have to read your defense and do both things at once, not just give him a look where he can say, well, I know I got to pass here, or no, I can run it here.
Carl, we've talked a lot in this show about Lamar Jackson's ability to run and put stress on the defense. We're going to take a look at 2 different plays of Jackson, who was the MVP of the NFL last year.
Yeah, and he is breathtakingly fast. So what they do, they have designed runs, and what they would like to do here, Bob, is put 2 guys in a position to where they are in no man's land. You cannot be caught in space. It's a design run. They're going to send 2 guys across to block, so there's no indecision that should be made about what's going on. But if I freeze it here, here's a guy who now is caught up on a block, and here's a guy who's caught up on a block when they really didn't have to be. Here you have a guy in the middle linebacker who's going to guess, but if you see 2 linemen pulling in a back offset, chances are that play's coming to your side. So you watch him, he guesses, and I'll freeze it. Now they've got a blocker, and a free guy to get Jackson through the hole. And he's just so fast once he gets out in the open. So you've got to be able to go and disrupt the play and not be caught in no man's land.
All right, Carl. Now we're going to take a look at Lamar Jackson, doing some other things that really cause stress for the defense.
We talked about Jackson's legs setting up his arms. What you want to do is exactly what this defense is doing. Force him to read a defense. He can't find the guy open, but your guys can't be on the ground when he can't find anyone open because you've accomplished one thing. You've taken away the pass, what he wanted, but you got 3 guys on the ground and he escapes. So when you get it covered, make sure your pass rushers are upright so that they can corner the quarterback.
Yeah, and he can make you look silly once he gets out into the open field. All right, Carl, let's go to the other side of the ball where the Ravens defensively really good in the NFL against third downs. They're pretty good against the run. This is a football team that can be opportunistic because they force a lot of fumbles.
They are opportunistic, but one of the things they do is they like to create chaos with these guys. You'll see guys that look like they're going to blitz, but they'll drop out and they'll bring a guy from nowhere, and this is exactly what happens. Here, they got 2 guys up in the middle, 3 guys looking like they're going to blitz. Here they come, freeze. Here's your guy right here, unaccounted for, quarterback takes a sack. So communication is really important.
Giants a tough matchup against the Ravens, and everything with them starts with their running attack. So it'll be their running game, J.K. Dobbins specifically, against the Giants tackling machine, Blake Martinez.
Yeah, John, back-to-back weeks against some of the best rushing offenses in the NFL. J.K. Dobbins has really emerged with Mark Ingram being banged up. He's been phenomenal. Shows a great burst. And for a young running back, he's got great vision. It'll be a big challenge for Blake.
Yeah, rookie of Ohio State. He's more of their third down back because they use Gus Edwards and a lot of that short yardage and stuff inside the red zone.
Yeah, and this rushing attack is so downhill. They're smash mouth up front, so it's going to be a challenge. Obviously, they're physical runners. They do a great job after contact. But both J.K. Dobbins and Gus, when you get these guys downhill, man, it's tough, even for linebackers, to stop them at the point of attack. They do a great job getting those dirty yards at the end of the run.
Yeah, Dobbins more their big play guy, but their biggest play guy is Lamar Jackson, and that's where it all starts, with the read option. So for someone like Blake Martinez, who has to worry about not just the running backs running, but the quarterback running, how does he combat that?
Yeah, it's a great question. For Blake Martinez, it's not physical. It's not, is he strong enough? Is he fast enough? He has all of those tools. It's about reading your keys. So for this game, with this offense, the number 1 rushing offense in the league, Blake Martinez has to trust his eyes, and that's where the challenge is in there. Lamar Jackson is so good with the sleight of hand. That read option, as much as you drill it in a scout team, it's different when Lamar does it. The speed of it, all of a sudden, they're doing it 2 different ways. Sometimes it's a read option, John, where the running back's downhill. Sometimes it's a read option where the running back's outside. And then Lamar, of course, can keep the football. So number 1, where is the ball? Find it. Read your keys. The offensive lineman will take you to the football. That's going to be first and foremost for Blake.
Carl, this is a big order for the Giants because not only do you have Lamar Jackson and his ability to run, but you've got Dobbins, you've got Edwards, you've got the veteran Mark Ingram, and they all have explosive runs. They all have multiple runs over 20 yards. How do you defend all these weapons?
Well, they're a very physical team up front. One defense you can have is have your offense keep their offense off the field, and you limit their opportunities so that you can have a better game defensively. But if your defense is logging a lot of plays, which they have the last few weeks, there are going to be some explosive plays, and you will get exploited.
We know that Lamar Jackson, the Ravens QB, could be on his way to a second 1,000-yard rushing season. Now, he has run for 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. You mentioned red zone a second ago. Is that where his legs are the most dangerous to you guys as a defense?
Unfortunately not. I wish. His legs are dangerous everywhere. He can run to the end zone from 80 yards away. He's one of the best runners of the football in the league, regardless of position. He's explosive, and he makes everyone account for the quarterback in the run game, as well in the running back, and with the pass game as well. So he's a former MVP for a reason. He's really a world-class talent, and he makes all 11 guys defend him on every snap.
When defending a running game, and they've got probably the largest fullback in the history of the league in Ricard, who goes 6'3", 300 pounds, how much of a chore is that, and how unique is that for you guys to have to go through?
Yeah, I mean, they're a physical running attack. They have big bodies. They have the ability to lead block, and they're the number 1 rushing offense in football. And I think that's the challenge there. They have great scheme in what they do. But, you know, we pride ourselves in being a good run defense. We got some big guys on our team that are pretty good, and we got to stuff up those gaps and play sound football. So it's going to be a total team effort here. Everybody's got to be willing to tackle and get on the run game. And I think we have a tough, hard-nosed group who's okay with that. And we're looking forward to the challenge. It's December football, and we're the New York Giants. I think toughness and tackling and those type of things are strengths of ours, and they need to be going in the future.
Logan, I know we always talk about stopping the run first, but it seems like during this recent couple of weeks where the Ravens have gotten their offense back on track, they're throwing the ball more early in the downs. How much trouble does that cause for you as you try to still, concentrate on the ground game?
Yeah, you always want to make the opponent play left-handed. So you want to take away what they do best, make them beat you other ways. If they do, then you tip your hat to them. You know, football is still about scheme. Football is still about we have plays or strengths and weaknesses to everything. When their passing game is going and their ground game is going, that's when they really get rolling as an offense and as an organization. And they really are built on having fast starts. They're built to play from ahead so they can run the ball. Lamar could be a dual threat every play. So I think it's more crucial than ever to get to a fast start to this game, get our offense extra possessions, get a lead, and have them play from behind.
Final thought, Mark Andrews did not make the Pro Bowl as a tight end, but he's in the top 6 amongst NFL tight ends in receptions, in yardage, and also in receiving touchdowns. How critical a component is he to their offense?
I think he's Lamar Jackson's favorite target. He made the Pro Bowl last year. They won a lot of games. He gets a lot of love and attention. He's a good player. He makes a lot of tough contested catches. He's faster than you think. And he's a good tight end in this league. So he's definitely someone we got to account for, someone I have to study very hard on when I'm matched up on him and take away what he does well.
The Giants have faced their share of dynamic quarterbacks this season. Lamar Jackson is another one. Who is the toughest to defend? Howard?
Out of all the quarterbacks, it's definitely going to be Lamar. He's seasoned. He runs with purpose. He's not one of those guys that when you're thinking about it, he's trying to get rid of the ball. He is running with purpose. He's part of the running game. That's why they rush for so many yards. Lamar's going to be the roughest one to play against.
Yeah, I would have to agree. There are so many good quarterbacks that they faced this year, but none as multifaceted as Lamar Jackson. And, I mean, he'll make you hold your breath when he starts to break the line of scrimmage.
No doubt.
Giants defense was strong against the Browns. They only gave up 20 points in the football game. Is this week against the Ravens a tougher task, Howard?
Not as tough. I think, throwing the ball was what's going on with the Browns. They got it all over the field, and we were missing a couple guys in the secondary. I think the run game for the Ravens is what they lean on. I think the Giants are really good against the run. I think it's not as tough of a task against them offensively. They'll be able to slow that offense down.
Well, slowing the offense down doesn't mean you slow down their quarterback. I think the thing that you have to do is count on the guys that were missing being back to give you extra coverage on the back end, which will allow you to add a guy to the line of scrimmage. But missing your defensive backs last week, if you had to go into this game with the same personnel grouping, you'd be in trouble.
That's for sure.
It's time for Rapid Fire. We talk about the 3 Giants to watch this week. David, we're going to start on offense with Sterling Shepard. He has caught 72% of his targets this year. Only the second time he's had 70% or higher during his 5-year Giants career.
Sterling Shepard is due for a big game, and just like the one he had last year in December up against the Miami Dolphins, in order for this Giants offense to not chase the chains, he's got to be an integral part.
All right, let's flop the coin. We go to defense and Dexter Lawrence. Been a force in the middle, but over the last 8 games, 5 quarterback hits and 3 sacks. He's becoming a force in the pass rush.
One of the best young defensive tackles in the NFL. It's going to be paramount that, number 1, maintains gap discipline, and number 2, don't let those guards get up to the second level in the run game.
And now we go to the offensive line. Andrew Thomas.
Yep.
Did you know the Giants are averaging 6.4 yards per carry when running around the left edge this season? That's the 5th best in the NFL. It's because of this big fella.
Had a solid performance and bounce-back game last week up against Myles Garrett. He's going to have that same exact type of game up against the physical outfit of the Ravens defense.
Carl, we're going to take a look at some numbers. 7, snap the streak. The Ravens have won 7 consecutive home games, and since Lamar Jackson's been the starting quarterback, he's 11-1 in the month of December.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but listen, this is what you play in late December for. When you have something on the line, they have something on the line, just got to be a road warrior.
All right, 800, the great 100. Lamar Jackson, 828 yards rushing. That's number 1 amongst all NFL quarterbacks. And Carl, he's doing it not just with his legs, but with his arm, but using his legs to set up his arm.
As long as he's a threat to run the football, he's going to force defenses to commit. And when they do, he sees it and he can get the open guy the football.